Think about what you did this morning the moment you woke up. Did you reach for your phone, sit straight up, stand up before you even took a full breath? I need you to hear this. Because that one habit, the one you've done without thinking every single morning for years, is quietly increasing your risk of a fatal cardiac event by up to 40%. Not smoking. Not what you ate for breakfast. Something that happens before your feet touch the floor. And your doctor has almost certainly never mentioned it. Here's what your doctor has almost certainly never told you. Every single morning from between roughly 4 a.m. and noon, your body goes through what cardiologists call the morning cardiovascular surge. Blood pressure climbs sharply, heart rate rises. Stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline, spike without warning. Your blood becomes measurably thicker and significantly more prone to clotting. This is not a malfunction. Your body is doing exactly what it was designed to do, preparing you to be alert, to move, to function. But here's what changes after 60. And this is the part nobody warns you about. Your arteries are less flexible than they were at 40. Your autonomic nervous system, the system managing these transitions automatically, responds more slowly. Your blood's natural clotting tendency is already elevated with age. So this surge, which a 35-year-old navigates without a thought, becomes a genuine danger window for adults in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. The data doesn't lie. The majority of heart attacks and strokes don't happen randomly throughout the day. They cluster heavily between 6 in the morning and noon. Not because of breakfast, not because of medications, because of how people transition from sleep to waking, the speed of that transition, the habits buried inside that transition. Your cardiologist talks about cholesterol, your doctor talks about sodium, but nobody, and I mean nobody, sits down and says, here is exactly what is happening inside your heart in the first 30 seconds after you open your eyes. And here is how to protect yourself. That ends today. The first mistake is the one nobody wants to hear. Reaching for your phone within the first 2 minutes of waking. I know it sounds harmless, just a quick look. But your brain spent the entire night in deep restoration. And the moment that screen lights up, you're demanding it. Immediately process social information, emotional triggers, news, notifications at full speed before it has even finished waking up, before your heart is ready. Research published in Frontiers in Aging found this immediate morning stimulation caused a measurable blood pressure spike in adults over 60 that lasted an average of 47 minutes after waking. 47 minutes of elevated blood pressure, starting the moment your eyes opened. And here's what surprises people most. The content doesn't have to be stressful. Good news triggers the exact same neurological response as bad news in those first waking moments. Your nervous system doesn't discriminate. It simply reacts. 2 minutes, that's all your heart is asking for before the world rushes in. Keep your phone on the other side of the room. Let those 2 minutes belong to your cardiovascular system before they belong to anyone else. The next mistake is drinking coffee before water. This one is going to be uncomfortable. Drinking coffee before drinking water? I'm not here to take your coffee, but after 60, the timing of that first cup matters in ways most people have never considered. While you slept, your body lost roughly half a liter of fluid through breathing and natural processes. You wake up already mildly dehydrated, and your blood, because of that natural morning clotting tendency, is already thicker than it will be at any other point in your day. Now you add caffeine, a mild diuretic, something that tells your kidneys to release even more fluid from a body already running low. A study in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that adults over 60 who drank coffee as their first morning beverage had measurably thicker, stickier blood for up to 90 minutes after waking, compared to those who drank water first. Thicker blood is harder to pump. Thicker blood clots more easily. Thicker blood is the precondition for the events that destroy lives. 1 glass of water, room temperature, 12 to 16 ounces, before anything else touches your lips. That single habit, done consistently every morning, may be the most important 30 seconds of your entire day. And it costs absolutely nothing. The next mistake is standing up too fast. This is the mistake that sends people to emergency rooms. It happens so fast, most people don't understand what just occurred. When you go from lying down to standing quickly, your cardiovascular system must instantly redistribute several liters of blood upward to your brain, your heart, your vital organs. In a younger body, that redistribution is fast and seamless. In an aging cardiovascular system with reduced arterial flexibility and a slower autonomic response, it isn't. The result is orthostatic hypotension, a sudden sharp drop in blood pressure upon standing. You felt it, that brief, dizzy, disoriented feeling when you rise too fast. That is your brain not receiving enough blood. In mild cases, it's unsettling. In a vulnerable heart, it triggers a dangerous overcorrection. The heart suddenly slamming into high gear trying to compensate for a pressure drop it wasn't prepared for. Adults over 60 who experience frequent morning orthostatic hypotension had a 38% higher rate of major cardiac events over 5 years. From standing up too fast, every morning, for years. I had a patient, 71 years old, retired school teacher, healthy by every measure. She came to me after nearly collapsing in her bedroom. She'd woken up, sat up immediately, swung her legs over and stood, one fluid motion, exactly as she had done 10,000 mornings before. Her cardiovascular system at 71 simply could not keep pace anymore. I gave her 3 steps. When you wake, lie still for 30 seconds and let your body recognize it's awake. Then sit up slowly and pause. Let your legs hang over the side of the bed for another 30 seconds. Then plant your feet flat, lean slightly forward, and rise with full intention. 3 months later, she called my office. Doctor, I haven't had a single dizzy spell. I didn't realize how much I was frightening myself every single morning. 30 extra seconds. That was the entire intervention. And for her, those seconds were everything. The next mistake is the wrong breakfast. After 60, your body's ability to regulate blood sugar during the overnight fast changes significantly. By morning, blood sugar levels in older adults are often already unstable. Skip breakfast entirely, and you're asking your cardiovascular system to power you through the most demanding part of the day on empty. The body responds by releasing more cortisol, more adrenaline, stress hormones already elevated, to mobilize stored energy. You're piling load onto a system already working at its limit. But eating the wrong thing is equally damaging. A breakfast high in refined carbohydrates, a pastry, sweetened cereal, white toast, causes a rapid blood sugar spike followed by an equally rapid crash. That volatility has direct cardiovascular consequences. Research in the New England Journal of Medicine found that adults over 60 with high morning glycemic variability had a 42% higher rate of cardiovascular events. The fix doesn't require perfection. Eat within an hour of waking. Combine protein, healthy fat, and fiber. Eggs with vegetables, oatmeal with flaxseed and berries, plain yogurt with nuts. Clean, steady fuel instead of a volatile spike your heart has to scramble to manage. Your heart worked all night while you slept. Feed it like it matters, because it does. The next mistake is intense morning exercise. I am not telling you to stop exercising in the morning, but after 60, there is a right way and a genuinely dangerous wrong way, and most people are doing it the wrong way. Here's what's already happening when you wake up. Blood pressure is elevated, blood is thicker than normal, heart rate is climbing. Your cardiovascular system is already managing a significant internal load. And then you push immediately into vigorous exercise, running, intervals, heavy lifting. You are throwing gasoline onto a fire that is already burning. Research in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that vigorous exercise during the morning surge window, between 6 and 9 a.m., was associated with nearly twice the cardiac event rate in adults over 60, compared to the same exercise performed later in the day. Same exercise, same person, same intensity, different time, double the risk. I had a patient, 68 years old, retired firefighter, proud of his morning discipline, up at 5:30, running 2 miles by 6. He came to me with chest tightness during his runs. His heart was structurally sound. The problem wasn't his fitness, it was his timing. I asked him to shift his run to late afternoon and replace his mornings with 15 minutes of walking and light stretching. 6 weeks later, he came back. The tightness was completely gone. His resting heart rate had dropped 4 beats per minute. He said, "I feel stronger now than I did in my 50s. That wasn't medicine. That was his body finally being allowed to warm up before being asked to perform. Your heart deserves the same. Mistake 2, emotional flooding. This is the mistake that medicine almost never talks about. And I believe it is one of the most underestimated contributors to morning cardiac events I have ever encountered in clinical practice. You open your eyes, and before your body has even finished waking, your mind is already running. The appointment you're dreading, the family situation that kept you up, the financial worry sitting quietly behind everything, the health fear you carry but never say out loud. All of it flooding your system before your cardiovascular system has had a single moment to stabilize. That emotional activation creates a cortisol surge on top of already elevated cortisol levels, double cortisol. And chronically elevated cortisol does measurable structural damage to the interior lining of blood vessels. It promotes inflammation. It increases arterial stiffness. It directly disrupts the heart's electrical system. A landmark study in the New England Journal of Medicine followed over 9,000 adults for 8 years. Those who reported high emotional stress upon waking had a 56% higher risk of major cardiac events compared to those with calm waking states. 56% higher. Not from diet, not from exertion, from the very first thoughts of the morning. The fix isn't about eliminating what's hard in your life. It's about creating a protected window, just 2 minutes, between waking and engaging with the weight of the day. Lie still. Breathe in for 4 counts, hold for 2, out for 6, 4 cycles. This specific breathing pattern activates the parasympathetic nervous system and measurably counteracts the cortisol surge. Studies show it reduces morning blood pressure by an average of 8 points systolic in consistent practitioners. 8 points of blood pressure reduction from breathing, from 2 minutes of stillness before your feet touch the floor. I had a patient, 74 years old, retired nurse, coming to me with morning palpitations. Her cardiac workup was completely unremarkable. But when she walked me through her mornings, the picture became clear immediately. Within 30 seconds of opening her eyes, she was mentally running her to-do list, processing worry about her daughter, dreading an upcoming appointment, flooding her cardiovascular system with emotional cortisol before her heart had even finished waking up. One instruction. Before anything else, 2 minutes, stillness, slow breathing. Name 3 things you're grateful for. 3 weeks later, she called, "Doctor, I haven't had a single palpitation. Why did nobody ever tell me this before?" Because nobody was asking the right questions until now. Mistake 1, no transition protocol. Everything we've discussed today is the same fundamental mistake, wearing different clothes. The phone, the coffee, the fast rise, the wrong breakfast, the intense exercise, the emotional flooding at dawn. They're all a refusal, conscious or not, to give your cardiovascular system the one thing it desperately needs after 60. A transition. Your heart cannot go from 0 to 60 in 30 seconds. Not anymore. Not safely. And when you force it to, every single morning, the cumulative damage over months and years is not theoretical. It is real, it is measurable, and for too many people it becomes irreversible. A comprehensive study in Frontiers in Aging followed 12,000 adults over 60 for a decade. Those who implemented a structured morning cardiovascular transition protocol had a 62% lower rate of major cardiac events during the 6 to 10 a.m. window. 62% lower, from a routine that takes less than 3 minutes. Here it is, exactly as I give it to every patient I see. When you wake, don't move immediately. Lie still for 30 seconds. Let awareness return without forcing it. You're giving your nervous system time to complete the shift from sleep to waking. Begin slow, intentional breathing. 4 counts in, hold 2. 6 counts out, 4 full cycles. This is not relaxation. This is a clinically validated cardiovascular intervention. Take it seriously. Slowly bring yourself to sitting. Pause again, 30 full seconds. Let your blood pressure begin redistributing. Let your body register the change in position before you demand anything more of it. Before you stand, drink the glass of water you placed on your nightstand the night before. Room temperature, at least 12 ounces, slowly and completely. Now stand, plant both feet, lean slightly forward. Rise with full intention and 0 rush. For the first 5 to 10 minutes after standing, move gently, walking, light stretching. Nothing that spikes your heart rate. Your phone stays face down, your coffee waits, your to-do list waits, your worries, for just 3 minutes, they wait too. 3 minutes? That is the entire protocol. And according to the research, those 3 minutes may be the difference between a normal morning and a cardiac emergency. Let me tell you about William, 78 years old, retired engineer from Seattle. He had survived a minor cardiac event 2 years before sitting across from me. His cardiologist had adjusted his medications, told him to eat better and walk more. Nobody had talked to him about his mornings. When he described his daily routine, phone in hand within 30 seconds of waking, immediately upright, coffee before water, out the door for a brisk walk by 6:15, I recognized every single mistake we've discussed today. Everyone, every morning, for decades. I walked him through the protocol. He was skeptical. Engineers want data, not instruction. So I gave him the data, every study, every mechanism, every finding. He went home and started that same night. 4 weeks later, he sent me a message. My morning blood pressure has dropped an average of 11 points. I feel less anxious before 8 a.m. than I have in years. I had no idea I was working against my own heart every single day. Now I know better. Now I do better. William didn't need a new medication. He needed the truth. And once he had it, he used it. Because that is what you do when someone finally respects your intelligence enough to give you information that actually matters. That is what you are doing right now by watching this video. Tonight, before you sleep, place a full glass of room temperature water on your nightstand. Set your alarm 2 minutes earlier, not for more sleep. For your heart. Follow the 6 steps tomorrow morning. Lie still, breathe, sit slowly, drink the water, stand with intention, move gently. Do it for 30 days, just 30 days. Your heart has been carrying you, faithfully, silently, without a single complaint, for 60, 70, 80 years or more. It has never once asked you for much. Give it 3 minutes every morning. It has earned them, and so have you. If this video reached you today, smash that like button. Subscribe to this channel and share this with someone whose mornings worry you. One share could start a conversation that genuinely saves a life. Tell me in the comments, which of these 7 mistakes did you recognize in yourself this morning? I read every single one. Take care of yourself.